It's like frozen. Oh, hold on. Hold on. That was weird. It was freezing up. Hopefully it works out here. Okay, I see people up in the corner. That means that something's working. You have a tarantula? Right on. Spiders are pretty cool. Fly on the wall, nice to see ya. Somebody's in the room. I tried to go live and I was just frozen, I guess. Nothing happened. Hi Rita, how's it going? Nice to see your pretty face. Hi Teresa. Jalissa, hi, how's it going? How are you feeling tonight? So this is exciting. It's 30,000 followers. It's kind of a spirit encouraged me to jump on it. I just saw 144 eyes watching, which is beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Right on, Frederica. Thank you. I appreciate that. Natu Samakoya. I don't know about that, Healing Higher Hearts. I appreciate that a lot. Hi, Aika. How are you? I sent you your transmission. I'm not sure if you got it or not. I didn't see a response, so I just want to make sure that you know that, so I emailed it to you. Debbie, I'm well. Thank you. I jumped on because we got 30,000 followers. And I was going to jump on anyway, to be honest, but then I saw we had 30,000 followers, which is awesome. It blows my mind that 30,000 people are at least interested in the work that we do. And to be honest, I get like so few negative comments that it blows my mind that people are open to this stuff. And I'm just so humbled and so appreciative. And because I had a lot of fear coming into this type of thing, you know. I'm gonna get emotional here. I'm gonna turn this down, but yeah, it just blows me away. It blows me away. So I'm just super stoked, and I want to return the love. So hopefully we can do some healing stuff. You know, that's my intent tonight, is to do some healing work. So I'll do a bunch. We'll do a bunch together. We'll do some different techniques together. Just different ones. Let's see if there's ones that I can think of that I haven't shared yet, or we can experiment too, because maybe we'll just share the recipes of how energy healing works in general, and then we can come up with a new thing together. You know, as a group, we can come up with a recipe. We can cook our own meal together, and you know, Jalissa, as Derek might say, he loves to use the cooking analogies, and so do I. So it works. We're all chefs. We can cook together. We'll all get in the kitchen and have a big party and cook a meal. Hi, Roseanne. How are you doing? Sophia speaks. Yeah, we're all chefs, and that's the thing. Whew. Well, let me set up a container real quick. I have a little one, but it's not. I need to set up a better container here. I never expect over 200 people to jump in, you know, so, and I can feel everything. You know, I don't tune into exactly what it is, but I can feel it. I can feel it like whoosh, 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 get heavier and heavier. Hi, Shana. Oh, yeah, when I talk to my cat, I talk to my cat like a person, but I talk to my partner's cat like, I guess like a person too, in light language. He loves to speak and just, but pretty much he's always saying the same things, and that's just he wants dinner. He wants breakfast and he wants dinner. That's all he cares about. So, you know, he's an old man. He can do what he wants, you know, whatever makes him happy. Oh, cool. Karis, welcome. It's what I do is a little bit different. So if you stick around, you'll probably see some weird stuff, which is totally cool. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you know, I just encourage you to be open-minded. You don't have to accept any of this stuff, and you know, who knows, magic can happen. Being open to these things allows for the magic to flow in. Hi, Ali Cat. Authentic. Oh, duh. Authentic vibes. I am what some people might refer to as a quantum architect. Essentially, I'm an energy healer. Hey Ray, mushuto paratatisa kalma. I work with the structures of reality. So the analogy, kind of like the code behind the experience that we have as reality. So kind of like I can modify the matrix code if that's, I mean, that's more kind of woo-woo aspect of what I do, but essentially I just help people with practical tools so that they can heal themselves in a bunch of different ways. So just really trying to share my own personal perspective and my own experiences, my own inner gnosis, and then hopefully some people can find value in that through my own, you know, hardships, just like everybody else has. Everybody has their own stories, and it's valuable, and I'm just here to encourage you to be exactly whoever you are and to help you get to whoever you actually are to the truest extent, to the fullest extent, as quickly as possible. And I do that through these different tools, like what we call light language or light codes. And light language is just like a universal expression of energy and frequency and vibration, and it can be expressed in a bunch of different ways. So I express it verbally through words and sounds. Like some of it sounds like sound effects, and some of it sounds like different languages. It's not necessarily directly translatable. It's more like music in a lot of ways, where it's more about the vibe, and you know, it can be interpreted differently by different people, specifically through their own system and through their own energetics. But it can also be expressed through movement in the sacred geometry of the body, almost like playing the body like an instrument, which facilitates different frequencies that are released. So you'll see me doing a lot of this type of stuff. If you are familiar with the idea of chakras or energy centers, you'll see me move, and I'll be on top of different chakras and energy centers in order to tune into certain frequencies and change them. And so I'll be different movements of my fingers and hands, which a lot of people refer to as mudras. Yeah, but there's just fancy human words that we put on things. So it's never that accurate. I'm just here to be me and share what I do, as weird as it is, so you can be as weird as you want to be and as weird as you are, because it's okay. And that's exactly the point, because it's our superpower. Being us is our superpower, and who knows what superpower you got. So I specialize in what people might refer to as activations or upgrades And an activation, from my perspective, is essentially just a way to trigger remembrance. So you see me do stuff like this, and a lot of people will go, I do that, you know, like where they've done, like in meditation, they start to move in their hands, or they've spoke different languages growing up and they didn't know what it was. You know, they thought they were just speaking gibberish, and they hear me speaking it and feeling it, because there's a source behind it. It's not just words, there's the energy behind it. And then once they realize that it's actually a thing, boom, it turns on. It's that simple. It's just a remembrance. And that's how it worked with me. Is as soon as I saw that this stuff was a thing, boom, it was on, completely on, immediately. It was not a process of getting better about it or anything like that. It's more just a process of remembering. So I apologize, I was blabbing away while you guys are probably asking questions and stuff. So if you do have questions, don't be afraid to like copy and paste them and not necessarily spam, try not to spam it, but you can ask me again. I'll take a peek at the comments as much as I can and answer them as much as I can. But yeah, I just actually noticed on somebody else's live that they can do these like question things where it pops up. So I don't know how to, let me see if I can do this real quick. Be patient with me. Okay, so if you want to ask a question, let's try this out, because I haven't done this before. If you want to really ask a question, there looks like there's like a little question mark comment icon that somebody just found. Go ahead and create a question. Oh, somebody just did a hello, which is hi. But if you have a question, I think you can press that little comment question mark icon, and you should be able to ask a question, and it should pop up more for me, and I can go and answer in order and whatnot. I'm well, thank you, Jinjin, I appreciate it. And Alley Cat, what does it help us with to listen to you? So it can be used for a lot of different purposes. It can really be used for any intention, because it manipulates the structure that creates our experience. So I personally use it the most for healing work, because that's really what this is all about. Is we're here to heal, and once we're not here to add stuff to ourselves. We're here to remove the crap that we're not really, from my perspective. And again, this is stuff that I'm just going to be sharing from my own personal perspective. Only take what resonates. It's not, truth for everyone. It's my truth. So I'm just sharing my truth. But yeah, we're removing the crap that we're not so we can be who we truly are. That's what I focus on. So healing, but it can be used for manifestation, all sorts of stuff. It's what people might refer to, like if you remember back in the stereotypes of magic, right? You think of a wizard or a witch, right? And you think about even in movies, the way that it's portrayed, you'll hear them speaking Latin, right? Or different magic languages. And you see them going like this, right? Like I got the spirit fingers. That's what I do. So it's just, it's been around forever. It's just part of who we are, and we all can do it. It's nothing special, but sorry. Let me catch up on these questions real quick. Help navigating anger, please. We'll do some healing, so stick around. We can tune into everything and do a whole bunch of things at once. How long have I been in tune with this? Since I started expressing it outwardly, since about 2019 or so. I didn't really start coming out into the public until this summer. Do you tune into people to find their superpower? I'm not necessarily a reader. I don't necessarily, I'm mostly output at this time. So I'm in the phase where I'm not really needing the data. I'm in the flow. I don't need to know. So it's more about output for me. So I help people get to whatever their superpower is, and so they can decide, remember it for themselves. So I'm not deciding that for them. You remember it in yourself. Slow down. Sorry, the energy is gets me up and gets me all jacked up. I can slow things down. I just want to answer everybody's questions too, so I'm like trying to bust through them. So it's masu he tanale la ratata manuwa la rananyana. Is it weird that I can understand light language? Not at all. Everybody is going to interpret it differently. That's the power of it. That's why I don't necessarily always translate it for people, because like music, like a song, even if it has, like if multiple people know the lyrics to the same song, people are going to interpret it differently, right? Through their own filters. And that's the power and the multidimensionality of light language. So no, it's not weird at all. It's actually the whole point. It speaks directly to your soul, because your soul knows this. It's energy, it's universal. And that's why we are here to express it, so we can help you remember that. A container help, there's a lot of different ways to create containers. I do it a little bit differently I use my coding and my creating of structures to reinforce it and stuff, but it can be as simple as setting up grids of containers. So a container, from my perspective, is just it's a container. I use sacred geometry, so like different shapes, because sacred geometry translates between dimensional spaces. So like, for instance, like an icosahedron, it goes through the dimensions in a way that's really structured and solid. I like to use a soccer ball shape, a C60 shape, because it's really solid. It's really powerful structure that can hold things really well. And I stack them together. So I'll create containers of different frequencies and then stack them on top of each other. So maybe like an octahedron that's made of diamond, that's filled with platinum, and then around that maybe a cube that's made of chromium filled with diamond light, and then so on and so forth. And I just stack them on top, and then I do a lot of different light language between it. Are you able to remove the vaccination? Yes. Do you have anything to help me with? Absolutely. Whatever it is that you need, we'll do some healing here in a second. When did your journey start, and how did you know? It started about 2010 when I became really ill. I was diagnosed with something that they were giving me terrible prognoses about, and then none of the medical help helped me. And of course I went in a spiral of depression and all that stuff. And of course, we know the story, like the spiritual awakening process, the dark night of the soul, was a really long period for me, for like 7 to 10 years or so. But through that, I had to eventually decide that I wanted to be here. And with that, I had to figure out ways to make it possible for me to be here without wanting to not be here. You know what I mean? So, and not like pharmaceuticals and things like that didn't help. And eventually, through different alternative methods, I discovered energy healing, and that's the way that I now manage all my symptoms and continue to heal. So I'm not healed, I'm healing. So, Roseanne, we can definitely do a group root. We can work on that for sure. All right, now they're just looping. Okay, so I think I'm caught up on those questions. Well, let's jump on. Let's do some healing work, since this is what this is all about tonight. I want to give back as much as possible tonight, just because we're celebrating 30,000 followers. I know that's amazing, and I'm so appreciative. And even for the people that are new here, I suggest that you stick around, and who knows what'll happen. How do I remove the V? I don't necessarily remove it. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's not really something that's appropriate for this platform, for a number of different reasons. But it's more about disconnecting the things that the energetics are connected to, the structures behind it. I don't have a lot of experience in it, but I know that for a fact that I can do it. So it's not something that I really focus on, because there are a lot of other people that are doing it that's kind of their specialty right now. And yeah, anyway, I don't want to get into it. I'm really trying not to connect into those energies, because that's not really my role. My role is other things. But so if you're interested in healing, so we're going to do healing work first. So not activations or not upgrades. We're going to be focusing on healing. So we will do some healing work first, and then that way we can make room for activations and upgrades to come through afterwards. So first I'm just going to set up the container a little bit stronger, and I'm going to get myself ready. So I'm going to talk through the process of kind of what I do. And again, these aren't necessarily things that you have to do. So don't look at this as like what you need to do if you want to be like me. Don't look at me and want to be like me, because that's not the point at all. Look at me as a champion of being unfuckwithable in your own self, because this was really, really hard for me to come out and do because of how weird it is. And I totally get that. I'm not offended in the slightest. For anybody who's new to this stuff, hey, Moni, healing party indeed. Stick around. We're gonna do some healing real quick. Yeah. So just like these are just examples. I do a lot of these things. I set up these things just because it helps me feel better. I don't even need to do a lot of them just because of the way that I function, but it helps me feel better about what I do, and it helps me with my own shadow work, because there's a lot of different things about ourselves that we don't yet realize if we're still healing, right? There's a lot of shadows and aspects of ourselves that can not necessarily manipulate us, but leave us open for certain things to occur that we are intending not to occur. So I just do extra layers of, you might want to say, security or just precautions and stuff. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So I'm going to talk a little bit less real quick, but I'll narrate what I'm doing here. So Shatara Yanaki Purusha Puara Natisha Tukura Puira Takura Parata Wera. So what I'm just going to do real quick is I'm just going to command my higher self to remove any negative energies that are in this space, in this quantum space that we're all in, before we add a container, another layer of the container. So I'm just commanding it. So he'll do it. Just to make sure that it's done. So now that it was just cleared a little bit more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish what I call a pillar of light, my pillar of light. And what I'm doing is commanding to connect to the commanding to connect to the grand central sun, which is like the sun at a bigger scale. It's like the center of more structures. So like our sun is the center of our solar system. It's the center of more structures. So we can go directly into source through the center of the grand central sun. So I'm going to intend to connect through the grand central sun, pull through just pure source light, source code. I work straight through with source, through my higher self. So I don't work with other entities or other beings or a hierarchy. I work directly for self, for source, with source. So the biggest version of us that is separate from source. And I do that through connecting through the grand central sun. So we're going to connect to that. I'm going to pull that through, and you're welcome to do this if you feel inspired to. Just through your Shamata, and I'm just going to pull this like divine light down through our sun portal, because these are portals, And then I'm going to pull this light down through all of my chakras. So a lot of us have more than the 7 chakras that you may be familiar with. So whatever chakra systems you're working with, we're just going to pull it through the crown, through all of our chakras, through every cell of our body, down and out through our root, down and out through our legs and our feet, down into the center of the earth, down into the crystal core of, you can just intend whatever is best for you to ground into, whatever version is. I like to ground these energies into what we would call 7D Gaia. So into the crystal core, where it can be uploaded into the grids so that the collective can get benefits as well. And then I'm going to pull this back up through the rocks and the minerals, all the way back up through all the dimensional spaces, through every cell in my body, up through all my chakras again, or energy centers. I prefer energy centers, but for the sake of it, chakras. Out, back up, and just reestablishing that pillar. So we're just a pillar of light that's coming out from source through the earth. This helps also protect our space. This helps bring in just pure consciousness through our bodies, and it will help fill in anything that gets removed when we do this work as well. Thank you, Roseanne. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna give you a moderation real quick before I think, or maybe you already are. Oh, there we go. Okay. You don't have to do anything. That's not a responsibility. I'm just giving it to you because I trust you. And also, as I'm doing this, try not to worry about the chat. People are going to come through. People are going to be seeing this stuff. It might be new and weird. Just ignore it. You can close your eyes if you want. It's not a big deal. It's totally up to you. I'm not offended in the slightest, so don't feel the need to try to defend me or anything like that. Stay in your own space, stay in your energy, and just feel your body. That's the most important thing. So now we've got our pillar of light established. What I always do is command my heart to open, and there's all sorts of ways you can do this. I command. I can also code to open it. You can use your visualization to imagine it opening. You can use the feelings of your body to open it. So if you're a feeler, you can feel the energies and you can open it, turning it in a clockwise direction. You can tap it. Yeah, you can visualize it like a flower blooming open, or a geyser gushing, love, because healing comes from the heart. And so we really want to open our heart and connect from the heart, commanding it to be open, knowing that it's so. And if you're open to assistance, I can help you as well. For the highest good of all only. So our heart is our center. It's so powerful, and that's what we're really working with. In reality, all we need is one giant heart chakra. We don't need all the other ones. I mean, they're great, but the other ones are just helpful as interfaces to interface with other things and other beings and things like that, so we can help each other. But in reality, all we need is this one big heart chakra. So we really want to focus on that. Feel it open, just that, whatever that feels like. And then I always set intentions. So I set intentions that no harm will be done through this work. No energy will be taken that is not freely given in love. And it will be in alignment for the highest good of all only. And what we're doing right now is we're going to be doing healing work. I just did a video today that I would like to experiment with some more. So I'm going to assist you in boosting your own healing. So I'm going to give you a tip on how to heal yourself the way that I do. There's a practical way that I like to heal myself through energy alone, without thought, not necessarily thought, but just the feeling of energy, because I'm a feeler. So what we're gonna do, let's take a deep breath real quick and just let these energies settle. I'm gonna place a code in my heart, and if you're open to it, I'm gonna place a code in your heart, which is, the intent is for it to bring all of our energy, all of our light, all of our geometry, all of our code back into this here and now from across all universes, dimensions, densities, frequency bands, realities, dream states, all that stuff. The code is A3694. You don't have to know it. You can just intend that that's what you want, and it'll be placed in your heart. Your virus protector, it's virus software, antivirus, A3694, and that will bring all of it back to you in this here and now. Kukuarana, kukuarana, tiparana, tisukua, ala tanmia ua, shumakana. And as that's taking place, I'm just going to invite any beings of the highest eternal organic light only that would like to assist us, our higher selves, with the work today. We invite you to come in and assist our higher selves. So whatever your higher self commands, it is up to your higher self what work is done today. And they will work for your higher self. They're not making the decisions, you are. You are in command. You don't have to be in command consciously, but it's going to take place through your higher self. The big version of you, the true version of you. Sinata asime ki ku ule pra shanena alepia ulkutu dishi katakatukucho barakatuki porpakabakaweta plikpara urpe arana shakyata. Shukira makura parati sekichi. I'm just going to reinforce the group container. See, that's the thing. A sound, some light language sounds just like sound effects, and that's an interesting thing. But it's the energy behind it. Even though it sounds like sound effects in other dimensional spaces, let's say if you were on a plant medicine like ayahuasca or DMT, it would sound quite different. And you would feel quite different as well. You'd be able to feel it, the multidimensionality of it. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I want you to bring into your awareness an area that you would like healing. It can be a physical ailment, like a pain in your body or an injury or a disease or an illness, anything. I want you to bring up what you would like to be healed into your awareness. If it's an emotional or a mental thing, what I would like you to do is assign that thing, that emotion, that mental pain, that anguish, whatever it is, the trauma that you're identifying with, assign it a color. It can be any color you'd like, it doesn't matter. Just assign it a color and see it and imagine it or know it is a ball that you are going to hold in your hands. So imagine the color, put it in your hands, and then feel in your hands. If it's an area on your body where you have an illness or an injury, I would like you to take both of your hands and place it about a foot or so away from that area. If it's on your back or somewhere that you can't reach, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. Even if it's on your foot, you're standing up here, you can just aim at it and intend to connect to it. It doesn't really matter so much. It's just the intention and the intent that you would like to connect to it. And if you would prefer, you're also welcome, if it's a physical area, like say your knee, you can also assign it a color and hold it in your hands, okay? It doesn't really matter so much. It's your intention. That's the important thing. Your intention and your feeling. So you're connecting it, you're holding it, and you're feeling it. And what I want you to do is just put all of your awareness in your hands while relaxing as deeply as possible and just having your awareness in that issue, knowing that you're connected to that issue, and that's what we're working on. And then just feel and observe. You don't have to do anything else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost it. So I'm going to assist and boost what's already happening. So this is going directly through you to heal yourself, okay? So just relax, just feel that area, and just observe what happens. Yeah, you may feel different sensations in your hands, feel that. You may feel tingling, you may feel magnetic sensations, you may feel temperature changes. Whatever you feel, just feel that feeling. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to make anything worse or better. You're fully accepting it, because full acceptance is unconditional love, and that's what frequency we're working with here. Yakta arti suchupakua rapikisa na ta'aru parti sipikuta pariapaku upayarapisa. Shunununu yarapu uyakuya rapiarati ya ushumua tatatati kuchuprekupasaki nati yisopurupe atli parapisukunama. La ratatikisi tatushu papara tatinta kuchu prakati pikuti kumotushi kuti bunkuto parapikusuti Arad piscuci manta guerra pacu har pisciuto tatatata cut perché poi pa a tu asuccio pipa papia papicio e na wotuana. Shupa sa ti sa ushana. Shikua la rata ripoe siti na sutupra letaratu uhu imakarati pisichiani shukati para. So what you hear me speaking now is just kind of like my default frequency language, which is what you'll hear me speak most of the times, which is kind of like a combination of a lot of different expressions of different frequencies I have. So the idea of Tayel is a collective of me, my highest version of myself embodied. So it's like a kind of like my base of that, and it changes over time too. So just feel what you feel in your hands. Observe what's happening in your body. You're just observing. And that's the power of this too. It's a feminine way of healing. You're just feeling, observing, and accepting. And it's making shifts really quickly. I can feel it, so it's really good. Kitty likes the, he wants the energy too. Kita tutuhu e brapui sanata asituhu epipapara tisukuina. Shitara harat pisukuche maratuisa pekimuku akara. Yeshetikur asha shitanama. Kipropa artisisusu afafa asima kushata. Leturuma pa art pisikuchania. Titi otusatatataku urpa atatatakuche prepusu apa papa wiso papa tisa tatatakuche piara. And again, these are not translatable necessarily. Sometimes when I speak it, it can be translated, just roughly. Getting close to the first round being done. There we go. Boom. So there's the first round. There's the first round. So how you feeling? Did you feel anything? Did you experience anything? Sometimes people can get visions in their mind, have different feelings through their body. Oh, hi Amber, thank you. Any eye rolling is a note for you. I wish I had a choice in it. Hey, Shaman Derek. Nice to have you here, brother. I appreciate you. I really appreciate your lives, really showing people that it's okay to be themselves fully, and that the spirituality doesn't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. I appreciate that big time. I'm sorry to hear that you're having that you received bad news, friend. That your name popped away. What kind of healing? Well, the type of healing work that I do a lot of different type of healing work, to be honest. Most of the time people are interested in the light languages and the light codings and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of different tools, and that's the idea, is to share different tools. Just like our friend Shaman Durek does here. He shares spirit hacking. That's kind of what I am too. I'm a hologram hacker. I'm a human hologram hacker. I'm a coder. So my passion is to share practical, simple tools that help you empower yourself and help you remember your own power. That's the idea. So it's not necessarily the idea of, you know, me doing things for you. I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to help you remember who you are and embody exactly who you are so that you can be that and heal yourself and have your own gifts and show us stuff. Because we all have something to share and something to give. It's really, really important to remember that. And unfortunately, spirituality and religion in the past has been highly manipulated so that it takes your power away. And that's the paradigm that we're shifting here, and that's what we're breaking down right now with all these beautiful beings that are here in the chats, like Healer Barbie. A3694, Barbie, yeah. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. So many beautiful souls in here. Thank you for being here. A36, not 8. The letter A. Dandelion, we're going to do some more healing. So this is just one example of one way to do it. And again, like, I'm going to be making a video probably tomorrow, I hope, that is going to share my basic ingredients for any type of healing, to make up your own healing modalities. Just really simple ingredients like intention, using your imagination, tapping into a certain frequency, which is, it can just be acceptance or love. It can be really that simple. Shoot, having brain farts right now. Knowing that it's going to be done. Hi, Christian. Hi, I appreciate you guys being here so much. It's 30,000 followers today, which is, I'm blown away by. So I appreciate you guys so much. Embodied Soul Goddess, I appreciate that. I'm still learning. Like, this stuff is, you know, relatively new for me too, you know. Which made it really difficult for me to come out of the closet and start sharing this stuff, because I was staying in the closet for even the general spirituality stuff. Like, I was hiding away, like, doing this stuff for a long time. I felt really alone and by myself, just because I looked at the world and my environment around me, and nobody thought the way that I did. Nobody felt the way that I did. Nobody was I was super empathic. And it's actually, I've been less empathic and less telepathic and empathic the last few years since I started really getting into energy work. For a while, it was like way too high. Like, I was in bed 3 weeks out of the month, and, you know, like, everything I could hear when people were thinking about me, and, you know, like, I couldn't have pictures on social media because I could feel everybody tuning into me, and it was just too much. But yeah, so coming out was a weird thing. And I was, you know, I had no idea how anybody would interpret it, because when I first got introduced to light language, I honestly didn't like it. You know, it really rubbed me wrong. And I think it was partially the people that were expressing it, like, they were so into it and just like, it hurt so bad. So I was like, nope, not going to do that. And of course, the universe has a way with irony, and one day just forced a bunch of the languages out of me, and I was, you know, it has to come out now. And then all this stuff and whatever. We just got to be us. That's the idea. Do I know my human design? I do. I forget everything. I even forget my dang astrology. I just know I'm a Pisces. I literally have looked it up so many times, and then I just forget. Boom, it's gone. I'm going to take a look at the questions real quick. Yeah, Alora asking about Shungite. I love talking about Shungite. And you said it with a little side smile, probably because you know how much I like talking about it. So I got a question in the questions. I'm not able to see the comments right now. So if you have a comment or a question that's coming up, I'm not going to be able to see it because I pulled up the little Q&A thing. So I'm going to quickly bust out these Q&As. But if you have questions, just hold on for a second and I'll let you know. So somebody's asking about Shungite, which is my favorite mineral, and it's something I keep on me all the time. I always have a piece of Shungite in some way. So here's an example of some Shungite. It's a mineral from Karelia, Russia, There's only one place in the world that you can get it, or where it comes from. It came from outer space, essentially, like a big space rock crashed in down there a long time ago. And it's got these little properties to it that are called fullerenes or buckyballs. They're C60 shapes. They're like soccer ball shapes. And they're really powerful because what they do is attenuate negative frequencies. And they take a negative frequency, which would be a counterclockwise rotation of the energy, and it attenuates it, so it makes it clockwise. So it essentially shifts it to positive frequencies, or neutralizes it, rather. Sometimes it can do both, but it's up to you then at that point to program it, because it's just essentially neutral. It's a really powerful stone for like clearing EMF, or like electromagnetic frequencies, harmful frequencies that come from our devices and just the world around us. The 5EF, which is can be an issue at some points, but these things, it's a powerful tool for this. You can add frequencies to it that makes it even more powerful. So I like to mix my shungite with silver, because silver is a healing frequency, and the combination of them actually creates a healing field. So it actually produces orgone energy, which is really powerful. I also like to put a stone in my water, 3 stones actually, because it creates another even more powerful field. But what it does is it makes the water more bioavailable. So instead of excreting 90% and only absorbing 10% of your water like we do, what it does is it allows you to absorb more like 90% and excreting 10% of your water, or whatever is not bioavailable. So it's really, really awesome, especially as we're doing healing work on ourselves, and we're going through this ascension process. And even as like the frequencies from space right now that are just bombarding us, the solar flares last night, I don't know if you guys felt the solar flare that popped off last night about, I don't know, it must have been around 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. Pacific time, because I've been up since that time, just meditating. But even that kind of stuff will make our cells really do a lot of work, and it's really, really helpful. Can you receive the healing if you miss seeing mudras? Yeah, you don't need to see it. It's more of a transmission. I don't even have to do all this stuff. It just makes it stronger because it's another layer of intention that is anchored into the physical. So it makes it another layer of energy. Same with speaking it. I can think it and it'll still work, but it's even more powerful. Why does this sound so familiar? Because your soul understands it. Your soul speaks it. It's a universal expression of energy and frequency. What exactly are light codes? So light codes are essentially structures of geometry and math that have certain functionalities. So they're essentially like crystallized forms of energy that they're living in a lot of ways. They're dynamic and organic usually, and they can mold and do a lot of really powerful things. If you guys are, some people are asking for help. I would stick around. We're just going to continue to work. And if you are interested and this stuff is interesting to you and you're feeling resonance with it, I would highly recommend checking out my channel. Free resources for a lot of different things. You can just go through any of the transmissions and just play it on repeat. Most of them can be used for anything. Just hold your intention and your awareness while you play it and just play it on repeat. Most of them will do whatever you need. But some are really kind of more specific. The ones that have the my little logo on the top and the little address bar on the bottom, those are generally not necessarily more powerful. They have more layers of energy and intention on them, so that it can just go deeper into a specific thing. So for example, like I did one that's for cancer, or the idea of cancer going into the source, the deepest source for that. So it was really specific. I have ones for like digestion. I'm going to do one for menstrual issues. I've been having issues with that. I mean, honestly, that's the one that I've had the hardest time healing on people. I don't know why, if it's just the beautiful souls that are asking for help, or just that having a really tough time, or if it's just something that I'm not quite yet equipped with or not. But that's one I really want to work on too. One for viruses. that I released, which is really helpful for like accelerating the healing process and helping with the symptoms. Yeah, if you fall asleep, it's actually really powerful. Am I speaking of a YouTube channel? I do have a YouTube channel. It would just be like, you can just search for TY-EL and you should find it. Oh, awesome. Roseanne. I don't know why I always try, like, I always want to say Roxanne for some reason. Yeah, we'll talk. Does Shungai need to be cleansed? No, it actually doesn't. It's very grounding as well. Oh, and I'm done reading the questions too. So if you guys have comments and stuff or questions. Or if you are looking for a place to get it, I highly recommend mysticalwares.com. They are the biggest carrier of Shungai in the United States. And the owners are the most incredible human beings you'll meet. They're just the coolest people. Derek is like a mentor, like a brother. They're family to me. And they've helped me so much that, you know, it's not just a plug, but I mean it authentically, that they're incredible. And it's a great community that we're building through Mystical Wares. So if you support them, you're supporting the growth of an amazing community. And we would really appreciate it. But the products speak for themselves. Lots of products with Shungai and silver in it, like I mentioned, which is awesome. Great for protection, removing attachments, preventing attachments. It's amazing. What other stones or crystals can you put in water or on water? I would look it up first, just because there's such a long list of ones that you shouldn't put in water, just because they can dissolve. Things like selenite, or at least what we identify as selenite, like this guy, feldspar, which is a really powerful stone. One of my favorite stones. Shungai and this guy and moldavite are some of my favorite stones. I mean, I literally have them everywhere. I have stuff everywhere. I've got it gridded around. I've got grids of Shungai and silver on thumbtacks that I put like 3 feet apart in a grid that goes around my house to just help grid my house and brings in clean energy. It transmutes it. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, you don't want to put selenite or that, whatever this looks like, this stuff. Don't put this in water because it will dissolve. It can dissolve. It won't dissolve all the way, but it will flake off. But yeah, there's all sorts of good stuff. I even have like this. Like I got this from Mystical Wares. Kind of dirty, but a coaster that has Shungite resin, so you can just set your drink on top of it and it'll help clear it. I had a question. I had a dream of my palm having hair growing out of it. I don't know what it means. I'm not really a dream expert, but that sounds interesting. And just remember that your dreams are symbolic. It's code. So hair on the palms, hairy palms. Isn't that a... Isn't that a... I don't know. I think maybe that was a touche on that troll. I hope that was a troll. Yeah, Mystical Wares is super cool. Oh, hair on the palm is growth and abilities. Okay. See, my mind's in the gutter. I can't help it. I'm a toddler in a 6'4" frame. I can't help it. I'm just a big baby. Or more like a middle schooler. Let's be honest. Oops, oh no. Okay. Oh yeah, I've had some really interesting dreams lately too. Some really cool dreams. I mean, they were astral experiences for sure, but yeah, definitely been busy in the astral. Yeah, and Roseanne Sophia Speaks. If you guys don't follow her, I highly recommend following her. She's really knowledgeable. She's super in tune, and I want her to be able to jump on lives with me, and I think we're almost there. So you would be doing me a huge favor and yourself a huge favor by going and following her. And she's a moderator in here, so she's awesome, and I trust her answering of questions too. And also Amber, she's amazing too. So if they're answering questions, of course it's just their perspective, but they're perspectives that I really value and trust. Do you hear the translation while you're practicing? I do not. So I hear and see nothing in my mind. I have no inner senses, if you want to articulate it. I have outer senses, so I can feel everything very tangibly in my physicality. But inward, I don't really feel, hear, see, smell anything. Only with my physicality. So I know that whenever things are coming through, any awareness that I have in my mind, or we might call them downloads, that I know that it's coming through as a channel through my higher self. So it's a really like organic experience for me. It's hard to describe. It feels like me. That's why I don't channel other entities and stuff. I just channel aspects of me because it is me. I've tried to channel other beings and I can, but it's really weird, and it feels way different. And yeah, so it's just different. Can you lose your ability and have them reactivate like now? It's possible, absolutely. Anything is possible. So it's going to come down to what you've designed for yourself or your own belief systems and stuff like that. Contracts, there's all sorts of different possibilities. Hey, from Washington State, I'm up near Mount Vernon. And anybody, it's for some reason, I think a lot of people from Washington State are shown my channel or my lives, probably because of like geolocation. So I'm in Washington State, up by Mount Vernon, and we just talked about mystical wares. And I highly recommend checking them out. And I go there often, and we're gonna eventually, I'll be doing classes soon, I'm sure. In-person classes and in-person like free activations and stuff. And I do my in-person sessions there. So I'll be there this Saturday doing sessions. And then there's also the psychic metaphysical fairs, which they have, I think, twice a month still. I think they adjusted. I don't think Jalissa's in here anymore, but Texas, Kansas, sweet. Tacoma, there's Washington, Florida. Hey, Richie Ray. Am I a full-time healer? Yes, but I do still have a day job. Hopefully I think by March, I would like to start transitioning out and just only doing this, which would be amazing. Be a lot more time for me to do things, but to be honest, I'm not quite there on 3D things. I have a really hard time with 3D stuff right now. It just like jams up my brain. I get overwhelmed with really simple stuff. Really, really simple stuff it still kind of overwhelms me. So I'm getting into the flow of things, and Spirit's helping me out, and I'm getting through it. And so soon, I just need to be better about certain things. But soon, I work for a local tribe. I do work in marketing, so I do like design work and stuff like that for all their brands and their companies. But I'm also there to clear. So they have a casino, and I'm always there clearing every day and anchoring in the light. So we've got the highest frequency casino in the country, I guarantee, and probably the world. I mean, I do a lot of work, and people are amazing there. The energy is amazing. So. Yeah, I used to I used to work in advertising, and well, I guess I technically do, but I worked at an agency. I essentially, when I was in high school, started an agency with a few of my buddies. I was a activist, a youth activist and advocate. So I did a lot of work against, I don't like to say against, but like anti-industry type stuff, like big tobacco. That was a big thing that I did. So we started a company that's a social marketing firm, which is essentially, instead of selling brand preference, it was creating brands for positive behavior change. And in teens and young adults was our target audiences. But we worked a lot with different organizations, which, some of them, a lot of governmental stuff. And it went into a different direction. But yeah, that's what I did for a while, and then then I got the health stuff, and I couldn't work anymore, and so I had to leave it. And it kind of breaks my heart still because there's amazing people and stuff, but it's definitely not for me anymore. No, Swinomish. I work at Swinomish. What about UFOs? I've seen a UFO once, or that I remember the last couple of years. Yeah, Spokane. I just learned something about Spokane. Spokane used to be, it's a very powerful energetic place, and it should have been the capital for Washington State. But they inverted it, so the opposite area of the state it became Tacoma. And I can't remember the details. I forget everything, unfortunately, but it's a very powerful place. Oh, thank you, K-Riss. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I've had to shift outside of the design process that I used to do. So it's a different, I do a lot less design than I used to. So right now, I essentially bust out all my work like that. And then I spend a lot of time processing energies and, you know, doing what I need to do that makes me feel right. Cacuistiano. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. Well, in a couple more minutes here, we'll aim for 9:30. If you want to stick around, we'll do some more minutes of questions, and then we'll do some more energy work or activation work. And we'll do it both. We'll do it both. Mitra or whoever, you have to go to sleep. If you're interested, I'm gonna post this later on my YouTube. So I would just search for my YouTube, TY-EL, or you can even do Tyel Friday Night Lights, even though this isn't Friday, but it should still help you find my YouTube, and I'll post the lives afterwards. So you can still tune into the energies and still get the benefits. Unfortunately, there's not the comments and stuff, but I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, Spokane means children of the sun, yes. Yeah, Spokane is, this very interesting energy. I've always been kind of drawn to it. I didn't understand it. How do I cleanse myself, or how does one cleanse themselves? Through energy work. There's lots of different ways. You can do it through different tools and devices like stones, through your intention, through energy work. And somebody asked what we're activating. It's totally up to you. Well, it's up to your higher self. What you're ready for, what you're ready to remember. Robin, it's very possible to walk again. I used to have to walk with a cane. I could barely walk sometimes. I could barely see sometimes. My arm used to be like this. Sometimes it was fine. But yeah, anything is possible. How do you heal depression? In general, now this isn't one size fits all, but in general, what I notice with depression is that we're stuck in a past version of self, or an aspect of self that is not able to grow anymore for whatever reason. So we are not who we are supposed to be. We're kind of stuck. We're playing a different character than what we should be. And then figuring out like whatever gets you towards a different, the newer version of you can help heal that. Wow. That's beautiful. Wow. I didn't know that. So you lost 200 pounds? That's awesome. Congratulations. I used to be quite bigger. I mean, I go up and down. I lose 40, 50, 60 pounds quite often. Yeah, it happens. It's a lot of talking. I channel, so it comes right in through my neck, and I just accept it. It's at this point, it's normal. Frequency keys. So what I speak on, hey, nice to see you, brother. What I speak on the higher heart and gateways there, receiving higher frequencies. Yeah, so you'll notice me, I don't have a lot of technical data on it. It's just not really my thing, just because I forget everything I really learn that I don't need necessarily. So I think I'm just supposed to keep things really generic and general from a practical sense and the way that I use it. But the way that I perceive the high heart, the thymus, is that right? Is that the right one? I think it's thymus, which is, it's just about, so there, if you feel your chest here, you'll feel like the chest bones, there's like a bump, like a little mound there. That's where your high heart is located, back through there, your thymus gland. and it's this. Some people call it the seat of the soul. It's essentially the gateway to higher. I don't want to say higher. I guess higher levels of consciousness, more a deeper sense, deeper access to things. So like, so if your heart is love, love for self, love for others, your high heart, excuse me, would be perhaps like unconditional love, love like existential love, love outside of all those things. But I access the high heart quite a bit as a portal. So if you see me, I do, I'm moving over the different energy centers. I work a lot with the high heart. So you'll see me up here quite a bit because I'm able to access different frequencies and different portals through, or move through that portal to connect to other things. Yeah, I'm sorry if that didn't quite answer your question, but that's pretty much the extent of what I've got at this time. Let's do a thymus gland. Let's do a high heart activation. Not everybody's got their high heart activated. Let's do that. That's a great idea, actually. So we're just going to intend that if you're open to receive for the highest good only, no harm will be done, no energy will be taken. If you're interested in receiving a high heart activation, we're just going to work on that now. So you don't need to do anything. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Just intend, yes, I would like to receive. You don't even need to say it. Yes, and the high heart is the seat of the immune system too. There's a lot goes through that. I have a hard time remembering all the details of what it does for the physical body, but yeah, energetically. So we're just gonna activate the high heart. So just feel that area. Actually, I would guide you to put your fingers there. Take your fingertips like this, and just place them on that mound. Feel for that mound. It's about right here, about like across from the armpit or so, directly across, right in the center. Just feel there's going to be like a bigger mound. You feel like your little ribs, and then there's like a bigger mound there. And then just place your fingers like this, there, and then just intend that you want to receive. They're trying to make me use frequencies here that I can't quite express in this now. Let me try though. I can't quite get them. Not that it matters. So this is an example of light language as well. Boom. There we go. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. It did sound like insectoid. I think it was like a combination. Excuse me. I think they were trying to get me to speak a dialect of Arcturian, like a mix between like Arcturian mantis. I think it's actually like a species, but I can't quite get it. And they want me to practice it for the 2-2 portal, which we sold out, unfortunately. If you guys were interested, you missed it. But we are going to, I probably do a 4-4. So in April, I'll do another one. But yeah. So that's just just another access point, like another chakra, essentially. Can other people understand what I'm saying? Sometimes they wouldn't be able to understand what I was saying right there. They could see what I was doing or know what I was doing as far as like the energies and the frequencies and the structuring. But that wasn't that was more of a coding type of expression, not necessarily a languagey type expression. So some are different. Yeah, and then I would just play with it, like now that you're aware of it, that's enough to activate it. To be honest, all the other stuff is just kind of an extra layers of intention and imagination and experience in the physical that are just going to make it stronger. Yeah, it's kind of like Morse code. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, moving your hands away. A lot of times, if you feel them need to move your hands and do things, a lot of times that is a higher self integration, higher self assistance. Yeah, you probably feel a lot moving now through the throat now, because I think they're pretty connected. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're pretty connected. Maybe, yeah. Oh, you know what I'm saying, and your eyes flicker like you're dreaming, and your heart rate, as I'm assuming, goes up, which is very normal. Yeah, my eyes. I wish, it used to drive me nuts that my eyes would pulse, and now I kind of use it to my advantage. So now I know when my eyes want to pulse that I'm receiving a lot of times, and I use it as a way to get answers too through my higher self. So if I have yes or no questions, I have no as nothing pulses, and for yes, it pulses. So and it's pretty accurate. I'd say it's about 85% accurate, and that other percentage is usually not that it's wrong, but usually the questions are complicated, so it's not like a full response, But you can program yourself, program your body to respond to yes and no questions, which can be really powerful. Yeah, you can't stop your eyes pulsing when you listen. That makes a lot of sense. Just because you're receiving, it happens with me when I'm getting downloads and receiving energies and stuff. I know, I can watch videos about pretty much anything, and if there's certain energies coming at me, I can feel them, and I know that they're coming through. Like I can always tell, in UFO videos, which ones are legit or not, because I can tune into the energies and I can make it pulse. Or if there's paranormal stuff, or if somebody is legit or not, how much energy they're transmitting, like telekinesis things and stuff like that. I can usually feel it and it'll pulse. I appreciate that, Teresa. I'm just being me. So I really appreciate that you see that. Yeah, I appreciate that you see me for who I am. Appreciate that. I can't hide it, embodied soul goddess. I can't hide it. I think that's kind of the whole trick of all this stuff. My higher self is you're gonna you want to be you, and you want to heal, and you want to do all these things, but you're not going to be able to hide it. You can't hide your stuff. It can't be a chill wave of the hand, you're healed kind of a thing. It has to be all which is so if I want to be me, I have to be authentically me as much as possible. And that was a tough thing. So it helps a lot when I actually am able to express myself and be seen. So thank you so much. What does my family and friends think of this side of me? Honestly, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Nobody asks me questions. I've come out a bit. I don't know. We'll see. I know my mom and my dad are aware of it, and they've watched the transmission, which is great, which is cool, and they said they felt the energies. My grandma's aware of it. She thinks it's cool, whatever. My brother's aware of it. One of my brothers, he's kind of curious, but I honestly have no idea. And that's kind of what kind of irks me, not in a bad way, but throughout my whole healing journey, even when I was really sick, when I wasn't well, nobody asked me questions. I know people care, but nobody ever asked me questions. And that hurt my heart quite a bit. And even now, like, I was so like hesitant and afraid to come out and express myself in these ways because I thought people would, you know, think I'm crazy or critique me or whatever, reject me. They're not. They just, you know, I don't know how they react because they don't react. They don't respond or react. So it's tough, you know. It's not tough. It's just weird, you know. So I have no idea. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry, Roseanne. You gotta be yourself. You'll probably feel a lot better after. You know, there's no easy way to say, you know, I wish I had something I could say. I love you. What's the biggest thing you've learned or taken away from this? To be yourself is freedom. To find your authentic self and express yourself is true freedom, and that's where things will, you know, you'll feel better. And we're always going to be finding that. We're always going to be looking for it. So, yeah. You've been ridiculed and threatened with mental lockup by your immediate family. I wouldn't doubt it. I've already been locked. I've already put myself in the mental hospital enough times. Like I'd already been through that process. That's why it's like, and I was not as like woo, you know, like I was hiding all my like spiritual beliefs and understandings and all that stuff back then. And that's what was making me so sick. It was a big part of what was making me so ill is that I just kept it all to myself and I didn't think the world had a place for me and nobody thought like I did and my belief systems and all the things that I, you know, resonated with, just I didn't see it in the world around me, so I didn't want to be there and I felt crazy for it. So, you know, I've been there quite a few times and I looked a lot more sane back then when I've been in those places. People would have thought that I was way more sane than I am now when I was in those places. Now they'd be, you know, but so nobody can really say anything just because it's really, you know, I can articulate it from a logical perspective, like a really practical perspective, and I think that has a lot of power in it. And that's why I waited so long to kind of come out about it, so I could articulate my understandings in a way that people can bring people in from where they're looking at it from wherever they're at. I can feel and tune into where they're coming from and try to help them come from where they're at. If they want to come this direction, I can try to help leave breadcrumbs for them. Was I scared? No, I wasn't scared. Like to go in those places? Nah. I mean, I was really, really, really depressed, you know. Yeah, I appreciate that, Barbie. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been hard for me. I haven't fully shared my story yet. I kind of am starting to like leak little parts, but I really do need to heal it fully, and I haven't yet. Which I probably will do a live. Probably do a scheduled live just so people know that that's what I'm going to be talking about. So if they're interested in the energy work or something, that you know, they don't have to stick around. But just because it'll probably be a big purge for me, where it'll be more of a release for me and a healing experience for me. And yeah. But thank you for seeing me. I appreciate you being here, sister. So great to have you guys. If you don't follow Healer Barbie, you should definitely follow her too. She's awesome. The quantum jumping, that's your shit. I love it. She's an amazing, incredible human being. And there's so many of you that are in here. We have such an amazing community. Or if you want to call it that. I mean, I think it's a little community, a little group frequency. I love it. A little collective. Do I meditate? Yes. Yes, I do. For me, it's really necessary for me to feel good. I have to really feel my body. The way that I meditate is through feeling mostly, but I do guided meditation sometimes and all sorts of stuff. But I meditate, this is the first thing I do when I wake up. I usually meditate throughout the day, 15, 20 minutes and a little bursts and stuff. Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate that. I'm a feeler too. I'm a feeler healer. And so all of the techniques that I share are going to be from the perspective of a feeler. which I don't see enough of, to be honest. There's a lot of healing techniques and practical tools that use like your imagination, which I don't yet have access to. Like I am not yet expressing my ability to imagine, which is a hard thing to say. I can be creative, I can command things into being, but to use my imagination literally creates like a headache and a migraine. Like even when people describe something to me visually, it creates pressure and tension behind my eyes and the back of my head. It's really obvious when I try to do it. But I think that's made me a better feeler too. So there's lots of different tools that now I've learned that can help people, from a different perspective. And I think that's really helpful, like especially for people who have aphantasia, because it was really, yeah, exactly, aphantasia. It's why it's really, there's a lot of people that are coming into the awareness of neurodiversity, right? And what if you want to call it neurodivergence, but really, we all interpret reality in such dramatically different ways, and I think that's a really important thing to bring awareness to. And and I think being a feeler is one of the most powerful gifts. It really is, because the main goal is through your imagination, through visualization, is to get you to the feeling, because the feeling is the vibration, that is the truth, and it's like your lie detector, and that's how you can really bring power into things, is through feeling, through the vibration. How do you learn which frequencies are coming from where? Or how did I learn? It depends. It really can depend. It can vary. I usually command things, or I intend, like I'll command whatever, like I don't make the choice. I make the choice that it is for the highest good, and whatever is needed for the highest good in that moment, that does no harm. Whatever is best for me in that now is all we really need to do, and because we don't need to make that conscious decision with love, and from the love ingredient shelf, always from the love ingredient shelf, and then you can trust whatever comes through is for the highest good, and your intentions are right. But with me, I'm in the flow. I don't need to know. Commanding and knowing that it'll be done is enough for me. And again, I'm in that phase where I'm in more of the I'm in a bit of an initiation, right? Because I don't have my sight yet, which is really it'll be a completely different game for me as soon as I get my sight. But I'm in an initiation, like the Jedi phase, where you're, like where they have to learn to fight blindfolded. Can't remember if that was where does it come from? Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm in the flow. I don't need to know necessarily, but I do know. So I do get knowings and downloads and feelings. So I get, like with me, like I mentioned, there's nothing in there. So when something drops in there, I know that's related to that. So I'll get a memory sometimes. I will get a thought about certain things or a feeling, and it'll just jump into a certain awareness, and then I know that awareness is connected to it. I know I will see. Thank you, Amber, and I appreciate you too for assisting with that so much. I've worked on it so much. It's ridiculous. How do I feel about society and working a 9-to-5 job every day until retirement? I really hope I don't do that. I won't. But yeah, it's a form of slavery, to be honest. It's modern day slavery. You feel like you've been speaking light language and writing a long time, but just realized it recently. Exactly. It's that's why I call it a remembering. An activation is a remembrance, because you see it and you just remember. It's a resonance, right? Like we're not learning things, we're remembering. Can you help activate knowing our soul purpose? Yeah, any intention. There's no limits in my perspective. It's up to you and your higher self. And the way that I perceive things is there's no limits, and I have a strong knowing that whatever I place my awareness in and my intention towards will happen, and that's a big part of, being empowered, is knowing, that knowing aspect, not believing but knowing, and then knowing it'll be done. Oh, thank you. Kamusta na kara? Oh, hey, sister, how you doing? Masutiana kikpuato. I'm excited for our session. Yeah, and that's an important thing to remember too is that our imagination's real. We forget that part. Or we're taught that our imagination isn't real, but our imagination's real. That's why I know. That's why I get so attached to trying to get my sight back, because I know, or my, even in my imagination, like I used to be able to design, like as a designer, I could create, I don't know if I could see images, I don't know if I could, or I don't know if I could visualize or anything, but it was a different process. I could use my imagination, whether or not I could see or not, I don't remember, but I could at least use my imagination. And now I clearly am not yet able to do so because I can feel it. So even being able to use your imagination as another tool to create more layers of power in your intentions and in your healing work, it's just, you know, hey, I get so, dang it. Thank you, Mrs. Jones. You are too. I'm just going to take a second here and just relax. I've been talking a lot, so maybe just sink in your body. I'm going to let my body just kind of settle for a second. Maybe take a drink of water. I'll just look at your comments and your questions real quick. What are my pronouns? I don't really consider it. We, they, I don't know. Ty? I feel like kind of Ty is a pronoun in some ways. Because like my inner child, I consider Tyler. My legal name is Tyrell, and I consider that more my like lower self. Like when I'm in trouble, I get called Tyrell, or when I do a dingus thing, I'm damn it, Tyrell. I go by Ty. I've always gone by Ty. Ty-L is my highest self embodied. But yeah. Do people sense your energies in person? Do they say weird things to you? Sometimes. I just went to Best Buy to get a little adapter for a microphone. And they told me that they don't have that part anymore, that they don't sell those, that they're old, and you know, I'd have to go to Walmart or something. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look around. I walked away, and then right, like 30 seconds later, a minute later, the woman comes back and with what exactly I was looking for, and she's like, it's the weirdest thing. As soon as you went away, it just appeared in front of me. Like out of nowhere, we were both looking at the same spot, and it just appeared. Like, what the hell? And I was like, "Well, I am a wizard." And she's like, "Are you really?" And I was like, "I am." And she's like, "What?" You know, like kind of thinking I'm joking. And I was like, and she didn't even think it was weird. She was just like, she was more like, "Oh, that makes sense." So sometimes that was a rare case, but that was just tonight. So yeah, I go through stores. I clear a store. Like I was at Hagen's, and I go through and I'm doing my stuff. There was a guy there shopping. So 2 stories tonight. There's a guy shopping, and he was. I was in like the Mexican food area, and he was looking. They usually have candles, you know, with like the saints on them and stuff. And he had one, and he was looking at it, and I could tell he was tuning into the saint and like doing prayers. And of course my stuff kicked in, and he he kind of was like looking around, and I was shopping, like my back was back to him, you know, I was a little bit further away, and because I was shopping for stuff. Ooh, got pinged hard. And he was doing his things, but I could feel it, and I could feel he felt me, and so he's kind of looking around. And I had to walk by because I couldn't find what I was looking for. And of course I'm like kicking in because I can feel the energies of, you know, what he's tuning into and the prayers that he's doing. And he was like, he gave me the strangest look, and I was kind of like under my breath. And then he just kept walking back and forth and like looking at me through, you know, like with the mask on, just, oh, it's funny, but like making really strong, like, what is up with you, kind of a thing. And he went back and forth so many times trying, but I don't know, two weird things today. Right on, Jason. Now you changed your life, brother. It's all you. Whatever you experienced today is a permission slip from you to remember. So it's all you, always. Do I do house clearings? I clear my house. It's not something like a service that I necessarily offer. I clear buildings and like grocery stores and all the food and stuff. But I mean, I don't see why I couldn't. It's just not really in my agenda. If you're interested in making an appointment with me, you can go to my profile, and in my profile there's a link through my link tree that you can send me a message through that, and you can, you know, ask me whatever questions you want, or if you're interested in one-on-one sessions, or interested in getting a customized transmission, just you can send me a message through there, or I have a link to my Instagram on my profile. You can do it that way. Or you can use my, oh, thank you. I think that was I looked away. Or you can email my username, tylheals@gmail. There's also another way. Oh, the wizard hat. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Samaku Ikinai. Kakai kwa na tarot pisu atu mama haukau kau ina. Can I tell you something about your daughter Sarah? That's not necessarily my thing. And yeah, no, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't anyway, just to be honest. Depends, of course, but yeah, I'm not necessarily a reader. I'm more of I'm more output at this time. I can get downloads and I have knowing, so I just kind of know everything already, which they would be called claircognizant, but I don't necessarily think to articulate it until it's necessary, and that's usually through a channeled state. So I'll express something that needs to come out and feels right in that moment, but not necessarily like a reader. Like I'm not a seer. Like people who are seers are really good about like tuning into things, or with clairaudience they can hear and they get messages from their guides and stuff. I just get downloads from myself, and a lot of my time, and since it's myself, we keep things from me quite a bit because we're really trying to steer me in a certain direction. Like I used to joke when I was younger, because people would talk about their spirit guides and their spirit animals and all those things, and I was like, everybody was always talking about their spirit guides, and I was like, you know what, my guides fucking suck. I guarantee you it's probably me. I'm like, my guides suck because it's probably me. They don't help me for shit. Turns out my guides are me. Like I skipped the guide part, and it's just my higher self. Like it's my guides are me. So I was right the whole damn time, and I knew it. I could feel it. Like I could feel. I'm like, because when I would ask for help, I wouldn't get it, and everybody's telling me to do certain things. Like talk to your guide, ask your guides for certain things, and you'll get it. Like so simple. Like just cheat and ask your guides, and I'll be like, I do those things, and I'm like, why the fuck isn't it working? I'm like, it's probably. I mean, if they're shitty, that's probably me. It is me. Thank you so much. I get pinged is just my way of like articulating the feeling of like getting something, like a feeling, or a download and stuff like that. Yeah, different aspects of self. Yep. Yeah, enjoy the walk. That's beautiful. I don't know, I'm just hanging out. I'm just talking. I'm just here to chat, and yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. So it was an impromptu because we had 30,000 followers, so thank you. But tomorrow is Friday, and on Friday night, 7:30 Pacific, I do what we call Friday Night Lights, which is just essentially kind of the same thing. So we'll do more like healing and activations and stuff. Do I have any deity aspects? Oh yeah, lots. Yep. What should you do if someone in your families are sending you bad energies? What would I suggest? To what we would call armor or grid. I would look into different practices for clearing your energy, and perhaps removing cords, which just, so like right now, I just got a download. So that would be a way that I know that I'm supposed to talk about something. So I just got a download of something. So I kind of like a little giggle smirk because I was just talking about asking your guides for things. So I got the download to tell you to ask your guides for help with this, to remove cords or hooks or bindings or hoses or whatever it is, any devices from other people, entities, groups, anything like that. You can ask your guides to show you where it's at. You can just intuitively feel where it's at, and then begin to just, with your intention and your imagination, imagine pulling whatever it is out. You don't have to like know or like imagine it exactly. Just use just like imagining a color for your and a ball for your area of pain. The same idea, and then just begin to pull it out, and then ask your guide. You can just say whatever guide, just ask guides or highest self, my higher self, please take this all the way out, whatever it is, all the way out, and fill it in with light. Fill it in with pure consciousness, and it can be that simple. I like to assign I would suggest to assign your highest self a name. It can be anything, just whatever name you want. And then when you're interested in getting assistance, just use it like a command prompt, like if you're typing something into like a computer, like if you're coding or something like that. Just say, like for example, tie L, remove all cords, attachments, implants, hoses, hooks, whatever you want to call it. I would do it one by one generally, but remove it all the way, completely in this now, and fill it in with love. And it can be that simple. Fill it in with light and fill it in with love. And then just feel your body. Observe it happening. And it can be that simple. And then, on top of that, I would suggest, great suggestion as well, Roseanne, is when you're doing that, if an idea pops in your head about traumas of the past, to deal with them, to feel them through, know that that's likely attached to it in some way, or you may get no awareness of somebody else. That's really helpful for kind of getting a download. You don't have to buy into the story. You don't have to attach to it. It's just just a hint. The frequency, it's the costume that the energy is wearing, that's where it came from, or that's what it's attached to. And then once you've removed whatever the things are, then I would armor up or grid or shield, or if you want to use the term protect. I don't like to use the term shield or protect too much, just because it implies attack or implies defensiveness. Armoring, it makes you kind of feel like a badass, right? Like you wear armor, you don't need to be protected. You just wear armor because you're a badass. Or having a grid, a container around you is just there, So I use containers, and then sometimes I do use armor as well, like tighter armor. And you can just use your imagination to create it strong. But I would put, like, just as a really simple container or armor for yourself, or grid, is imagine a soccer ball shape, and just intend that on the outside and inside of the faces of it are mirrors. And I would intend either platinum mirrors, silver mirrors, or chromium mirrors, or they can be combinations. And then put that on the outside and the inside of it, fill it up with love, and then expand it to go around your body. So like if your arms were all the way out, they couldn't touch it. And then use that as a way to keep yourself protected. And I would put that up, just intend to do that throughout the day, a few times a day. And I would just use your imagination. If that doesn't work for you, just whatever makes you feel badass. Like you can imagine like looking like Aquaman armor, or, like sometimes I activate what I would call, I name my armor too. So I've got armor that is like Iron Man. So if you've seen the Iron Man movies, his armor is like Friday, it has different names, or Jarvis or whatever. Mine is called Ulysses. And then I will tap, just like Iron Man, I'll tap my thymus though. Tap it 3 times, and I'll say activate Ulysses. And then I'll say like Ulysses Chrome, Ulysses Silver, Ulysses Platinum, whatever kind of metal. I like to use like reflective metals. So activate Ulysses Chrome. And then it'll and I imagine it just going and going around me just like Iron Man. And then and I have the intention, because I've created it through my awareness and through my imagination, to have it be living. It's like a consciousness, just like Jarvis, is a consciousness, and just like Friday is a consciousness. So you can give it commands. You can ask it to do things for you, because everything is consciousness. So you can say, do certain things, and you can just, like, it's just about playing with it, having fun with it. And it just add that, the more layers of like reality to it, like the more layers of like energy and acceptance and just fun, and like that higher vibration of just playing with it, the stronger it's going to be. Dragon scales, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mermaid would be like waterberry, dragon might have scales. Yes. Yeah, yeah. There's like, be creative with it. Like, I haven't even played enough. Like, you probably would come up with some really awesome armor yourself. I would love to, Michelle. I should. I think the first class I'm going to do is going to be on just like practical energy. No, I think the first thing we're going to do is activations and just talk about light language and light coding. And then I'll probably do sacred geometry, just because it kind of ties into it. And then more specific classes on different things. Oh, that's cool. You have a fireman that literally sees his uniform as a barrier. That's cool. Yeah, that works. Whatever works for you. It's just all your imagination. And you can add layers to it, and like the ideas of upgrades, like you'll hear us talking about upgrades. Like it's like adding different, like sometimes when we get upgrades, it's just like adding different components to what you are, like just making different layers of badassery to you. You can have, like, if your sight's really good already, maybe you get like an extra eye. So now you've got, like, instead of having a third eye, you've got like 5 eyes on your forehead, like it's an upgrade. Who knows? That's what's cool, is we can continue to just evolve and just play and express ourselves. Yeah, if since we're on the topic of sacred geometry, I highly recommend this book. I know it's mirrored right now, but if you're interested in just in general uh, concepts that are really great for understanding true sacred, or just geometry in general, because sacred geometry can be kind of tricky. The idea of what isn't sacred, right? But which is a whole different topic. But this book is great because it touches on 4 different topics. So it touches on numerology, essentially just numbers. It touches on geometry, on music and cosmology, and kind of how they're all connected, because they're essentially different expressions of the same things. Like numbers translate directly into the geometry, and geometry and numbers translate directly into music, right? And I always use that analogy as well. And the music directly translates into the cosmos. Universe, one song, like we are music, we are vibration. And since we're on the topic of books, this is a great book as well. So I use this a lot. So I decode my inner reality from the projections and reflections around me. Since again, when I go within, it's just blank, and I can sit there and meditate for hours and hours and hours and almost get nothing. It's just like a blank slate, so just through feeling. So if I want to understand more about myself, I do so by decoding the reality around me. And just like, and through that understanding and through that awareness, I've discovered and realized and had to figure out what certain things represent. So like our body represents different things, right? Like where we store emotions and traumas in our body have to do with the frequency range. So if I've got stuff going on in my neck, like I do, like in the back of my neck, it's related to communication, right? Nervous system would also be communication, or expressing itself, or speaking your truth, or things like that. Up here it's more mental and about vision. Down here is guilt and shame and all sorts of stuff. But this book is called Metaphysical Anatomy, and it's that same principle where it is where you can look up whatever issue, and it'll talk about the metaphysical sources for that. So it'll go into, like, for example, let's just say, find a good one here. Oh, interesting. Hashimoto's disease. I just had a client. I just did a transmission for that today. How funny. I've never heard of that before. And here it is. So we'll just talk about that real quick. So Hashimoto's, this is a long thing. So emotions. So it touches on different topics on it. It talks about the different emotions. So emotions, you seem to have many self-sabotaging patterns that make you feel like you have to deprive yourself of the goodness in life. You may have experienced a childhood where guilt or abuse was used to control and manipulate you. You are in fear of making a mistake or doing something that could provoke an influential person, always trying too hard to avoid being punished. Dominant, controlling, or influential people, such as a father or authority figure, have disempowered you, and it goes so on and so forth. And then, like in another spot, like key points. So it kind of like gives you some insight, like what are you sabotaging in your life? Why? And how does that make you feel? Helps you dig deeper into it. Another one, rejection and abandonment trauma. Your need for love, acceptance, and safety was met by trauma. Who made you feel this way? Explore the associations. Explore your ancestry line. Were there war, slavery, suppression was met by trauma? Who made you feel this way? Explore the associations. Explore your ancestry line. Were there war, slavery, suppression, torture, abuse, imprisonment, and rape or poverty trauma? So it kind of helps you go into these different metaphysical sources for these things, and it's huge. There's so many good. It's got everything. But that's another really powerful book as a tool to kind of understand things from more of an energetic perspective, a metaphysical perspective. The book is called Metaphysical Anatomy, and it's by Yvette Rose, Volume 1. Yeah, ADHD, isn't it? Yeah, let's check it out. Let's look at ADHD. Arthritis, arteries, appendix, apnea, ankle, anesthesia, anemia, anal cancer, which I should probably look because I have a client for that coming up. So it's funny how those just pop up. Amnesia. Wait, so there's like bee stings and stuff. Alzheimer's. Maybe they don't have ADHD. What's? Hold on. Oh, these are okay. These are allergies, so that's why. Okay. Addison, we're getting close. Stick with me here, Addison. Addictions. Maybe they don't have ADHD in here. That's too bad. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have ADHD. Huh. It's okay, it's got a lot of things, though. Is there another word for it, maybe? Maybe not. Well, whatever. Doesn't have everything. Yeah, it definitely has Crohn's disease in there, for sure. Oh, attention deficit. Oh, thank you. Duh. I was looking up the acronym. Duh. We're close. Oh, shut up. I had it bookmarked. I literally had it bookmarked. I'm a dingus. I forget everything. I literally had it bookmarked. What a dingus. Can't make this stuff up. Okay. That's so funny. Yeah. Ty. See, that's when I would go, Tyrell. So it's pretty long here. Well, let's see. So the emotions. So people with ADHD have a poor attention span and get easily distracted and can become hyperactive and impulsive quite quickly. ADHD can lead to poor school/work performance, poor social relationships, and a low self-esteem. There is a pressing question whether this is a real condition in children due to certain imbalances or lack of certain nutrients. Your body may have experienced a great deal of trauma during birth. In utero, you may have felt affected by your mother's hormones and anxiety. You often don't want to be too attached to people around you and choose to hide your vulnerabilities and sensitivity with a big, outgoing personality. You may have fear of being ashamed and blamed regardless of whether you did something wrong or not, blah, 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 blah. So let's go to, I like the other parts, the little bullets towards the end. The key points is what I like. So there is great amount of fetal stress present that has not been resolved. Explore the second and third trimester of the pregnancy. How did your mother feel? How did it make you feel in utero? Which is interesting because I know that I've had to heal, do a lot of healing in the womb. I had to, and I experienced what you might call ADHD. Did your mother suffer from anxiety? Is she an anxious person? Yes, in my case. What was stressing her out? How did your mother's stress and feelings of panic affect the fetus development stages in the blood pressure and nervous system? Is there war trauma in your ancestral line or similar incidents? Explore how ancestral trauma may have affected you. For me, trauma related to sexual abuse in your history or ancestral line. You made an association that emotional chaos equals safety. You may have felt this way in your home environment. Explore feeling important when you create havoc in your life. This is when you feel noticed, supported, and taken care of. Trauma related to trusting your sixth sense. Your sixth sense is quite sensitive, and you don't know when to relax and how to feel safe with this heightened sense. Explore when you wanted/needed something, and it was denied with a cold, hostile, or rejecting boundary. How did that make you feel? Was your mother given anesthesia or epidural during birth? If yes, then explore this and how it affected you. Not knowing what is going on is dangerous. This is often related to birth trauma. You will feel like someone is out to get you. Explore the birth process when the doctor or midwife pulled you from the birth canal or womb. You made an association that movement creates happiness. When you are still, the stress of your environment really sinks in, and you respond physically by running around to rid yourself of the stress and to complete unresolved traumas. Explore the conception stages. Did the sperm feel safe to be still? Explore further possibilities. So interesting, right? I mean, it definitely resonates with me. I know that my own healing. But yeah. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff in there. I won't bore everyone with reading it. Yeah, there's addiction and all sorts of stuff. Dissociative disorder. I was definitely out of my body for a really long time. Oh, Michelle, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm definitely starting to get a little tired. Thank you. Yeah, so. All right, well, let's do some more. Healing real quick. And then I'll answer just a couple more questions and then we'll get off because I'm getting a little drained. Drinking your chai with Thai. Can we heal abandonment? We can. So you can place your awareness in whatever issue, whatever intention you want, and I'll just have you do that. If it's a physical thing, we're just going to do the same thing as before. If you weren't here, what I'm going to ask you to do is imagine whatever area that you would like healing. If it's a physical thing or an emotional thing, just imagine it as a color. Assign a color to it, any color at all, doesn't really matter. Assign a color to it, imagine it as a ball, and hold it in your hands. And feel what you feel in your hands. Pay attention to any magnetic sensations you might feel, any tingles, any temperature changes, anything like that. Or if it's a certain area of your body, I would recommend taking your hands, putting it about a foot or so away from that area, and doing the same thing, just feeling that as deeply as possible. Like, and it can be an emotional issue, it can be a mental issue. Again, our emotions are stored in the body, so there's going to be a place in our body, whether we feel it or not, that these emotions are anchored into. But it doesn't really matter for this. It's just your intention. Feel it, intend it. Again, we're using our imagination. So we're just going to do that. I'm just going to reestablish my pillar. And again, no energy will be taken, no harm will be done, and it'll be in alignment for the highest good of all only. So go ahead, imagine your color, imagine the ball, the sphere, or whatever shape that feels right for you. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't really matter. It's just about assigning things in your imagination and quantum entangling them. Hold it, feel it, and then I'm going to boost it. So just by feeling, we're healing. Fully accepting it, we're not trying to change anything. Just feel. Or feel. Just really tune into it, relax. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assist. Malik's going to assist you. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open our heart, I'm going to increase the amount of light through our heart. Open the heart. Healing comes from the heart. Open the heart. We're going to bring through light. Bring through more light through the body. Anchor. Scratch that. Ground. We want to ground, not anchor. We're going to bring through more divine light, pure consciousness, the source code. We're going to increase the feeling, increase the energy through the hands. Kuchemi kataroi pro tu faya na karti pishitana ulu pialu kule nima tutara prashu tayaki kana tayatu sho uima. Open the heart more me ushi kiki moyasa natya so shumaya and kusha. And we're going to count down from 5. We're going to release tukusa makuile leta raimulu 5 shushu mapue pa 4 pu usha talele pele luya maku kuyashina 3 tu shushu fa papaya ko 2 kumakula palale ishi no 1 shupa ala release. Or release. Now fill it in with love, the frequency of love. Accelerate to the healed state. Asking the higher self for assistance. We're going to do another Pasu maku sapia do another layer. Shatatati makuta prakati Shatakuta Prakachakakuta Prakapahara Pashu, Preparation Bikoim, we're going to release in 5, fourth, shooting into reproduce 3, push 2, show 1, show Usta pass. Just grounding it out, bringing through that light, golden white light down through the crown, pushing it down into the earth. We're going to increase it. We're going to bring light into the nervous system. We're going to call in our fuchsias. Our fuchsia is going to flow down on a diamond white stream, down into our crown, or down through the nervous system, our head and face and eyes, or teeth, or tongue. down to the base of our skull, down to our spinal cord, into our neck and throat, down through our spinal cord, into our shoulders, our upper back, middle back, down through our arms, into our forearms, our wrists, our hands, our fingers, our thumbs, and there's the 4,000 in each hand, the nerve endings in each hand. And if it's in alignment for the highest good, we're going to increase this from 4,000 to 8,000. We'll do this in 3, 2, 1 now. And we're moving through the lungs, the heart, with the nervous system, through all little rivers and streams, down through the lower organs, through the middle back and lower back, down to the hips and buttocks, the groin, the reproductive organs, down to the thighs, hamstrings, knees, shins, calves, ankles, feet, toes, into the 400 nerve endings in each foot. And if it's in alignment for the highest good, we're going to increase that from 400 to 800 in 3, 2, 1. Now I ask if it's in alignment for the highest good to increase the amount of light that the nervous system can hold. The highest extent which is safe. Now I'm going to hand you a sphere, a golden sphere. You're going to just use your imagination or just intend to accept it for the highest good of all only. It's a Lemurian healing frequency. It's got a code in it. And again, I'm just going to hand this to you, or you can place it in your, I can place it in your heart, or take it from me and place it in your heart with your awareness or your intention. And you can tell it where you would like healing to go towards, or otherwise it'll go where it's needed most at this time. Yolata maweta wisha, lesha datu shapa haku, lata wisha uloma, chao halata sharowisha, arno maya rataswa, lesa tarashatuela la partusha. Porque tingo we parim ko yamro we parim pisuino. Shuka pasa. Shukur no mai. Tatu nina kai kuku. Lutue paleti, halueana, aliasuaya kueleana, letuana, leshuaya kuya, latuinemia. I'm just going to channel some Christic codes real quick, some internal organic codes. If you open to receiving, tu samukusha. one last thing here. I'm going to initiate an automated clearing protocol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be placing my left hand on the back of your head if you're open to receiving for the highest good only. I'll place my fingers, my index finger and my middle finger on your forehead. And I'm going to initiate this. I'm going to start a clearing protocol. It's going to help clear your meridians and all sorts of good stuff. Whatever you need to align your system and clear. Feel your body. Okay. Beautiful. So that's going to start. Tuaba. Makuma kuma. Drink, if you have any water, I would recommend drinking some water if you got it nearby. You're still going to be feeling it most likely because it's going to be continuing to work. But yeah, so over the next 24 or 48 hours, you're going to be releasing as well. Yeah, unless you command that you no longer would like to. But yeah. It's my pleasure. I forgot that I think we were supposed to do it at 9:30. Did I totally mess that up, or did we actually do something at 9:30? I totally forgot. I'm a dingus. Whatever. I've been on it for a while. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you guys coming in and chatting. Releasing is just clearing stuck energies and density and emotions maybe, and just in the first, like the 24, thank you, the 24 hours, 48 hours or so, you're probably not going to notice it a whole bunch because you're going to be doing most of it when you sleep. But just releasing, to me, releasing is, I mean, it can be done a lot of ways. It's going to be a little bit more natural, not like purging so much, but everybody responds differently. So it may come out a little stronger, but just releasing stuck energies. I think dingus means healer. I'll take it. When will I be on again? I will be on tomorrow at if I'm feeling well, which I should. I don't think I'll feel unwell. Thank you so much. I'll be on at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. So what I call Friday Night Lights, and that's something I try to do every Friday night at 7:30 Pacific time. Yeah, use shungite water. You've got it. Yeah, I got shungite water down here. I got like little pieces of shungite in it. But if you have any questions, or if you're interested in a session, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have questions, or if you're interested in a session or a transmission or anything like that, you can go to my profile, and there's a link to my Linktree there. Thank you. And you can send me a message through that Linktree link. It's on my website. I'm redoing my website. I haven't had a chance to do it at all this last weekend, and I was supposed to work on it. Tomorrow I have some sessions, but hopefully I can just get bust out so I can put products on my website. And so it'll all be streamlined. It'll be really easy, really simple and easy to get a lot more services and products. So I'm going to be putting on like different transmissions that you can download, like longer transmissions that can go into certain things, all sorts of stuff. There's like different let's see, we're going to make different, custom transmission options. So you can, I'm going to be doing it different than I have already. So right now I offer, and we can still do this. So if you want to send me a message and you're interested in this is totally cool. Just let me know. But right now what I offer is doing pre-recorded transmissions personalized for you for whatever intention you want to whatever song you want, and I channel to the vibe of the song essentially, and I feed off the song, and you can watch it over and over again and get the same effects. Thank you. Or it'll go deeper and deeper depending on your intention. Sorry, I'm definitely starting to wear out. Can't speak. But it'll depend on your intention, and it can go deeper and deeper. Right now it's a full song, whatever song you want, but it's going to be changing a bit. So I'm going to be doing it through TikTok. So just like my TikTok videos, it's very similar to that. It's going to be changing, so you can order a different length. Like if you want a 15-second video or a 30-second or a minute or a 3-minute video, and then I'll be posting them on my TikTok, and you can download them from there. It's just going to streamline it. It's going to make it easier for everybody, and then yeah, just overall. But I'm also going to be offering light language vocally as well. So you can either get it just the signing with the music, or you can get me doing the signing with the language. All sorts of different options and stuff. So yeah, cool. Hey Jody, if you were the Jody that has already ordered one, it should be available for you. I think, pretty sure. It should be caught up. I think there's one person that I'm waiting to hear the song. Maybe that's you. I don't remember. Could be you. I'm not sure. But if it is you, let me know, because I just sent an email. But yeah. But I love you guys so much. If you're interested in sessions, I essentially just offer 2 types of sessions. I offer right now, and it'll change again, but a 30-minute session and then a 60-minute enhanced session, which is essentially a full frequency upgrade. Half of it or so is focused on clearing and healing, so that upgrades and activations can come in. And it's definitely my most popular option, and it's essentially a full frequency upgrade. So if you're interested in that, let me know. We can schedule something. But if you're just wanting to talk or ask questions, I try my best to get back to everybody. Sometimes it can take a little bit, so please be patient with me, because again, my ADHD is, I'm working on it. But now I know where to focus it, right? Focus it on the womb. I'll get on that tonight. But I love you guys so much. Hi Aquamama, you just missed. And again, if you just showed up late, or you even just want to check out the replay or other replays, find my YouTube, ty-el. You can search for Friday Night Lights, Tyel, and you should be able to find it, or just send me a message if you're interested. And I thank you so much to Amber, and happy birthday again. She was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. I appreciate you for being a moderator. Roseanne, follow her, Amber Second in Command. Please follow her if you are interested in some badassery, an amazing soul that you want to connect with in this tribe that we're kind of creating here, this little group frequency. And also, thank you so much to Sylphia Speaks. Please go follow her, please, 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 so I can get her on and we can do some live streams to get a healer, and she's got some great perspectives. And thank you so much for hanging out with us and being amazing, just human beings, and helping hold space. And every single person that's been here tonight, everybody's a part of the group frequency. Everybody is contributing to what's going on. It's not just one of us, it's so many of us, and we're all pillars of light that is not only healing each other and ourselves, but we're helping to literally heal the rest of the world and bring the frequency up of the rest of the world. So the more we can be in these group containers, the faster we can get to where we really want to be, and we can all start expressing ourselves in more ways and encouraging the rest of the society to finally be themselves too, instead of being just a bunch of programs walking around not knowing what the fuck they are. So thank you, and thank you so much for 30,000 followers. That's crazy, and hanging out with me for so long. Hi from Seattle. I'm in Mount Vernon, so come say hi. Send me a message. I love you. Good night. Tutati masata kule prashata uera mama ikuhi erana tutu mamokoe kikania husha tutu era taratikuisha tekimoro corre piara. Hi, Elena, Stacy, Elena, Stacy. God, I never remember which one's first. Tutukuri makare tipisitu pasa naka koe karana. I love you guys. Have a fucking awesome night, and I'll see you on the astral. Mwah, mwah, booyah.